Imagine you are the most famous superhero on the planet. Your face appears on every massive billboard in Times Square. You decide to wear a shirt printed with your own image, stand right beneath that poster, and no one recognizes you. Sounds fictional? It is actually a 100% true story of Superman Henry Cavill. Welcome to the ironic world where billion-dollar fame can vanish in an instant. Today, we will break down the 5 most bitter levels of invisibility experienced by Hollywood superstars.
You recognize this guy if you saw him in New York's Times Square? Superman himself, actor Henry Cavill, decided to do a little experiment.
Henry Cavill, who would later become a global icon with his role as Superman, went through a decade full of ups and downs in Hollywood. Before 2013, international media often referred to him as the unluckiest man in Hollywood, due to repeatedly missing out on life-changing roles. In 2005, Cavill was a strong contender for the role of James Bond in Casino Royale. Director Martin Campbell ultimately chose Daniel Craig, believing that Cavill, then only 22, was too young to embody the suave and sophisticated Agent 007.
Why do you think Daniel Craig was absolutely the right guy for this?
My feeling is he's exactly the Bond that Fleming envisaged when he wrote the book, so he's just perfect.
His struggles continued as he lost the role of Batman to Christian Bale in Christopher Nolan's trilogy. Cavill was also once considered by author Stephen E. Meyer for the role of Edward Cullen in Twilight, but production delays led to him being deemed too old. The major turning point came in 2013 when he officially debuted as Clark Kent in Man of Steel. The film grossed over $668 million worldwide, elevating the British actor to A-list status and making him the face of the DC empire. In March 2016, a bizarre incident took place in Times Square, New York. Henry Cavill conducted a social experiment just ahead of the premiere of the blockbuster Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice to test public recognition. He casually walked through the crowded streets, standing directly beneath enormous billboards featuring his own face. Notably, the actor even wore a black t-shirt with the iconic S emblem of Superman printed on his chest. Despite appearing openly in one of the busiest locations in the world, not a single person among the thousands of passers-by recognized him. The presence of a real-life superhero was completely overshadowed by the rushing crowds and the pace of urban life. In an interview on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Cavill recounted that only 2 notable interactions occurred. One stranger approached him, but only to ask for directions to the nearest subway station without the slightest suspicion. The most ironic moment came when another person asked him to step aside. Their intention was not to request an autograph or take a photo with the star, but simply to get a clear shot of the billboard featuring Henry Cavill himself. The actor shared directly with the television audience. Only one person asked for directions, and another told me to move so they could take a picture of the sign. This story later became definitive proof of the power of hiding in plain sight. Similar to Henry Cavill, Hugh Jackman also faced an amusing, awkward situation at San Diego Comic-Con 2013.
I have seen 3 Logan lookalikes that look more like me than me. I honestly think if I walked out there through Hall H as Wolverine, people are going, yeah, not bad. He's all right. A little too tall.
This event gathers hundreds of thousands of the most passionate fans of superhero films and fictional characters worldwide. Jackman, originally trained in Australian theater, gained recognition with the musical Oklahoma. He took on the role of Wolverine in 2000, just 3 weeks before filming began, after actor Dougray Scott had to withdraw due to scheduling conflicts with Mission: Impossible 2. For more than a decade, Hugh Jackman became synonymous with the clawed mutant featuring adamantium claws. But at that year's convention, he decided to wear the original Wolverine costume from the film set and walk through the main hall. Instead of causing a frenzy, the actor was completely overlooked among the crowd of people dressed as countless different characters. He moved freely between exhibition booths without any need for security or bodyguards. When even the most powerful superheroes on the planet can be forgotten in the very heart of their fan base, what happens when the owners of that fame lose to those who are trying to imitate them? The paradox of the double Dolly Parton, a country music icon, was born into poverty in the Appalachian Mountains of Tennessee. As one of 12 children in a farming family, she experienced a childhood so deprived that she had no real toys. Her first toy was a handmade doll crafted from corn husks called Tiny Tassel Top. These memories of hardship drove her to build a dazzling and glamorous stage persona as soon as she began her career. She deliberately pursued a plastic style with towering wigs and sparkling outfits to conceal her harsh past. This style gradually became a globally recognizable brand, turning her into a cultural icon. However, this very strong image construction led to a rare incident on Santa Monica Boulevard. In a costume contest for Dolly Parton impersonators, the singer secretly entered as a contestant. To secure a win, she intentionally exaggerated herself by making her hair higher and her makeup heavier than usual. She believed that no one could resemble Dolly Parton more than she herself standing on that stage. The final result stunned the media when the real Dolly Parton received the smallest round of applause from the audience. She completely failed to convince the judges that she was the most perfect version of herself. The judging panel at the time concluded that she was merely a short man attempting to imitate Dolly without success. They believed her natural features were not as sharp as those of the more professional contestants. The singer later recounted this event with her signature humor across media platforms in early 2025. She admitted that the public sometimes prefers a simulated version of her over-the-real flesh and blood person. This paradox repeated itself with even greater intensity at Washington Square Park, New York, on October 27, 2024. The event began with a social media call from YouTuber Anthony Poe for a look-alike contest. Thousands of young people flooded the central area, creating an unprecedented scene of chaos. New York police had to deploy large forces to disperse the crowd and carry out necessary enforcement measures. Reports noted that at least 4 people were arrested and the organizer was fined $500 for unlawful assembly. At the height of the chaos, the real Timothée Chalamet unexpectedly appeared without any prior notice to management. The actor wore a black coat, a face mask, and moved through the crowd to reach the center of the contest. He hoped his presence would bring joy to fans striving to resemble him from his films. A strange reality unfolded as most of the crowd remained focused on surrounding the other lookalikes. They did not recognize the star of Dune standing right beside them and even asked him to step aside to take photos. Only when he removed his mask did a few people realize the truth, but attention quickly shifted back to the contestants. Fans seemed more immersed in the universe of doubles than in the presence of the real person. The eventual winner of the contest was Miles Mitchell, a young man dressed as the character Willy Wonka. Mitchell received a prize worth $50 along with a giant plastic trophy in front of Chalamet. The event was analyzed by the press as evidence of the disconnect between media image and reality. Stars can sometimes become invisible before replicas crafted to satisfy public visual expectations. Timothée Chalamet later shared brief reflections on this unusual experience in subsequent interviews. He admitted feeling confused witnessing hundreds of versions of himself interacting within a confined space. Fame can sometimes become a commodity in which consumers prefer the idealized version over reality. And at times, not being recognized becomes a cold splash of water thrown directly at the ego of stars at the peak of their power. The Mask of the Gods. In 2015, the BBC conducted an impressive social psychology documentary featuring singer Adele. She secretly signed up for an audition for people who specialize in impersonating her. To prepare for this disguise, Adele underwent a professional transformation using silicone prosthetics on her face. She was fitted with a fake nose, a fake chin, and completely altered her signature makeup style. The singer adopted the alias Jenny, a shy nanny with a timid personality and reserved demeanor. She even changed her posture and speaking tone to ensure that none of the contestants would recognize her. Behind the scenes, Adele delivered a deeply convincing performance by pretending to tremble and show extreme nervousness before going on stage. Her awkwardness was so genuine that fellow contestants came over to comfort Jenny. The other contestants, who were devoted fans, had no suspicion about her true identity. They completely believed she was just an ordinary woman trying to find an opportunity. Everything truly exploded when Adele stepped onto the stage and began singing the first notes of her iconic hit. Her unmistakable voice immediately sent a wave of shock through the entire room. The contestants below were initially confused, then overwhelmed with emotion when they realized that the person standing before them was their idol. The documentary later became one of the most viral music videos in BBC's history. Adele shared that experiencing anonymity, even for just a few hours, gave her a new perspective on her audience. She realized that the connection through her voice is the core value that rises above all appearances. Around the same time, rapper Drake also conducted a social experiment in the Live Witness News segment on Jimmy Kimmel. One of the wealthiest artists in hip-hop disguised himself as a field reporter with a fake beard and glasses. Drake carried a microphone through busy streets, directly interviewing passers-by about himself. He asked leading questions to gauge public opinion about the activities and personal life of rapper Drake. The interview results surprised many viewers with the public's honesty and at times harshness. Many people openly expressed dissatisfaction and even criticized the rapper right in front of him. Some firmly stated that they disliked Drake's style or believed his music was inauthentic. Drake, in the role of a reporter, maintained complete composure and even nodded in agreement with them. The segment captured ironic moments where Drake had to repeat insults directed at himself to keep the conversation going. He accepted the denial of his identity as part of an entertaining media experiment. In April 2021, actor Adam Sandler also became the focus of global media after an incident at an IHOP restaurant. A security video showed him being turned away by a hostess at the entrance. The reason given was that the employee did not recognize the famous actor behind his face mask and casual athletic outfit. She informed him that the restaurant was full and asked him to wait at least 30 minutes. Instead of using his A-list status to demand special treatment, Adam Sandler quietly left the restaurant. This respectful action later earned him widespread praise from the global online community. The waitress later posted the video on social media along with a belated apology for the oversight. She admitted that she did not recognize Adam Sandler's familiar face at the time. Adam Sandler responded to the incident with a humorous social media post, joking that he left because the restaurant did not have milkshakes. He later even returned to the restaurant to participate in a charity event. The actor affirmed that he felt completely comfortable being treated like a normal customer. This incident demonstrated his down-to-earth personality and respect for common rules, traits of truly grounded stars. These transformations show that fame is only a thin layer of paint. But there is one man for whom invisibility has become such a defining trait that it has turned into a humorous curse lasting for decades. The Tony Hawk Curse. Tony Hawk is recognized as the most influential skateboarder of all time, the person who elevated the sport from the streets to a global professional level. He officially became a legend in 1999 at the X Games. At that event, Hawk became the first person in history to successfully land a 900-degree aerial spin, a milestone considered impossible in the world of extreme sports at the time. This achievement instantly turned him into an icon. Beyond his competitive career, he also owns a video game franchise bearing his name, generating over $1 billion in revenue. The name Tony Hawk appeared across all forms of media, from television to the covers of major magazines. But the greatest paradox in Tony Hawk's life is that his real face never seems to match the immense fame of his name in the public's mind over decades. He frequently becomes the center of ironic situations when passing through airport security. Many officers look at his passport and casually remark that he looks very similar to Tony Hawk. Reports have documented numerous anecdotes he personally shared on social media about having his identity denied. One TSA employee once directly asked, "Do you know you look a lot like Tony Hawk?" He could only smile and nod. In early 2024, another humorous incident occurred in Cancun, Mexico, when a stranger approached him for a conversation. The person asked whether he was someone famous who appeared on Google. When Tony Hawk confirmed he had some level of recognition, the stranger excitedly followed up, "So, are you Tony Stark? Iron Man?" The confusion between a real-life athlete and a fictional superhero went viral online. These experiences offer an interesting perspective on the cost of fame and how society operates around icons. At times, becoming too famous is the most effective way to disappear completely. If Tony Hawk turns invisibility into humor, then in another corner of Hollywood, there are stars who choose anonymity as a way to heal the deepest scars within their souls. Ghosts in the crowd. Keanu Reeves, the star of the John Wick franchise, is often called the king without a crown because of his humble lifestyle that stands in complete contrast to Hollywood glamour. This humility was shaped by a series of personal tragedies spanning decades. Keanu's father left the family when he was only 3 years old, marking the beginning of a life filled with painful losses. In 1993, his closest friend River Phoenix suddenly passed away from a drug overdose at a nightclub. The pain did not end there. In 1999, his first daughter with girlfriend Jennifer Syme was stillborn just before birth. Only 18 months later, Syme also died in a tragic car accident in Los Angeles. These events led Keanu Reeves to choose a life away from the luxury and superficiality of the entertainment industry. He is often seen riding the subway and casually offering his seat to standing women. The image of sad Keanu sitting alone eating a sandwich on a park bench in 2010 became a symbol of solitude. The public was astonished to see a multi-million-dollar actor blending into the crowd without being recognized. In 2014, a notable incident occurred at the wrap party for the film Daughter of God. Keanu patiently stood in heavy rain for 20 minutes outside a club because security staff did not recognize him. Instead of using his fame to gain early entry, he quietly waited in line like a regular guest until the owner noticed him. His silent composure afterward created a wave of global media attention. Bill Murray is also a legendary figure in embracing invisibility through eccentric actions. The documentary The Bill Murray Stories recorded numerous unbelievable anecdotes about his unexpected appearances. Murray often crashes parties of strangers, helps them wash dishes, or plays video games with them. After surprising everyone, he quietly disappears like a ghost in real life. One of his most famous pranks is stealing a stranger's French fry on the street. Before the person can react, he whispers the iconic line, "No one will believe you." This anecdote has become part of popular culture, where fame is used to create surreal moments. Murray seems to treat not being immediately recognized as an art form. Similarly, in December 2012, music mogul Jay-Z had a historic conversation on a New York subway. He sat next to an elderly woman named Ellen and casually talked as if they were strangers. When she curiously asked about his identity and whether he was famous, Jay-Z simply responded. He answered modestly, "I'm just regular, I'm Jay," which made her feel at ease. Only when she got off the train and saw a line of reporters waiting did Ellen realize she had been sitting next to a legend. This encounter highlighted the respect for personal space across generations. Fame can sometimes be just a filter of the mind, and these stories prove that even the most powerful faces in the world sometimes long for anonymity. What about you? Have you ever passed by someone who looked exactly like a celebrity at a bus stop or a cafe? Do not hesitate to share your almost recognized story in the comments. That person might have been your idol enjoying a rare day off. Do not forget to like and subscribe so you do not miss upcoming in-depth reports about the world of Hollywood. Thank you for watching. See you next time.